The problem is not that people don't know the facts. The problem is the people in power lying and lying and lying and lying about the facts. That's the problem. I excuse ignorance. The other day, I was on with I did two interviews, not two, I've done so many, but with both Michaela Peterson and Candace Owens. And each of them began by saying, I really don't know anything about this conflict. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the humility. You come in, and I thought, well, of course, why should you know? You know, Gaza is a postage stamp on the world's map. Why would you know more about Gaza than you would know about a country in Africa? I get that. So that, to me, it's completely understandable and doesn't raise any significant moral questions. But her father, Michaela Peterson's father, Jordan Peterson, is a very sick liar. That's a problem to me. When he comes up and he says, he's asked by Piers Morgan, what caused this conflict? He says, well, I'll tell you what caused it. It was Iran rattling the chain of Hamas. What are you talking about? Israeli intelligence doesn't say that. And then you get Candace Owens' colleague, Ben Shapiro, who puts out these videos with one ignorant lie after the other. Not even sophisticated lies, so ignorant, so imbecilic, so shameless, so ridiculous, so preposterous. That to me is the problem. On the moral level, I remember my mother once said, we were talking about Poland, during the war, during her experience during the war. And she said, I never held it against Polish people who wouldn't help us. Because she said, in Poland, if you help the Jews during World War II, they just shot you dead. You don't get a trial. You aided and abetted the Jew, boom, you're shot dead. And my mother never pretended to be a hero. And I think in the back of her mind, she thought, I wouldn't open the door. Okay? So she didn't fault them. She said what she faulted was the Poles who stood along the wall of the ghetto and were gleeful as they saw what was happening to the Jews. Those are the ones she passed judgment on. But my mother held by the adage there, but for the grace of God go I. I wouldn't let them in my home. If a Jew is fleeing and looks to my home for refuge. And it's the same thing here. Ignorance is an excuse because the world is a big place, many conflicts. You can focus on one or two most mortal people, but everyone, no, not possible. But when you are a person of power or prominence and you're using your position to disseminate the ugliest, the stupidest, the most idiotic lies. I have a friend in Ben Shapiro's, in his current video, the first 2 minutes, it's about ancient biblical history, okay? My friend, her name is Deborah Maccabee. She's the daughter of Chaim Maccabee, the famed British Jewish historian. And she happened to look at that video because I had been writing about it. And she went through just the first 2 minutes. She said, I couldn't find one statement that was even remotely accurate. Not one. About Joshua, about the name Palestine. And then she mapped out for me this huge scholarly undertaking. She's going to expose every lie in the first 2 minutes. In the first 2 minutes. And these people use their power and their position to lie as Israel conducts its genocide in Gaza. Those people are revolting. They're also revolting cowards. Mr. Shapiro, you know so much. Why don't you debate me? Where's the problem? You like to debate college students. I suppose you debate people in their second trimester. But how about debating an adult who studied it? They won't. Complete cowards. Cowards and criminals. Criminals.